let's clear up with trans rights. Anti-LGBT laws could have anti-LGBT laws could have overseen widespread impact. New laws target LGBT plus people are proliferating in GOP-led states, but often absent from the policy decision is a clear understanding of how many people will be directly affected. There has been relatively little data collected on the number of LGBT plus residents in the U.S. That means lawmakers are often writing laws without the same kind of baseline information they might have for the other demographic groups. Legislative decisions to ban transgender women and girls from playing school sports often fails to consider the impact on intersex students. Conversations about gender-affirming care bans were times clouded by a discredited in 2018 study that claimed kids might experience gender dysphoria because of the peer influence. This has led to enormous suggestions that the number of the trans people was inflated. Not all intersex people are identified as at birth. There are more than 13 million people. There are more than 13 million who are lesbians, gay, bisexual, or transgender in the U.S. aged 13 and older. The U.S. Census did not add questions about sexual orientation and gender identity until 2021. Efforts on the quantity of the number of the LGBT plus people, including the intersex people, in the U.S. were scarce until the last few decades, and stigma prevented from some of the disclosing and their identities. This has some overlapping between the groups. Intersex people are included in the plus sign in the LGBT plus acronym, and some intersex people also identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or queer. That put me in a place where it still exists in discrimination. Something where I was actually battling in school as well, in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And I'm thinking that we got past this already. Like, I don't know, it's really been conflicting, and it's getting me more out to be more of a leader in the community and really help our people in fighting what we're going through right now. So I hate the fact that we're experiencing this, and we need more leaders to speak up, and we need more people to talk about this issue.
Did you, as a black queer man, did you face a lot of discrimination when you were in school?
Oh yes, I mostly did. Pretty much, me being gay, the first thing they offered me is the cheerleader, to be a cheerleader. They wouldn't allow me to. I auditioned. I tried out for the soccer team. I tried out for the basketball team. And I was wondering why I didn't get the actual on the team. I mean, I auditioned.
Tryout.
I tried out so many times for the basketball and the football flag team and the soccer team.
But can you play those sports?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because I go out for that shit. They're gonna be like, "No, girl, go on your way," you know.
But I did found a passion. I did audition for the dance squad, so I did get the dance. Yeah. But for any sports that I did, I never could get in, and especially the volleyball. I know I was nailing them, and they still wouldn't let me get in. So I can see where this issue still is existing, and sports should be able to have, like, everybody can be able to play the sports.
Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about in the other story, right? We need the data. We need the science. We need to know how many of us are actually out there, right? And, you know, that's how we get grants. That's how we get better healthcare. That's how organizations that serve our community are able to serve our community, right? By having this data. And this data is not concise. We've never been counted, each of us, ever, okay? And I've read certain articles recently that people are going back in the closet. And when they have to fill out surveys, they don't fill it out as LGBTQ+. Because they're fearful because of everything going on. And can we blame them?
Yeah. I think part of this, if you want to look for some hopeful side, it is that the more people know someone in their family, in their community, in their religious community who is LGBTQ+, the more other people feel comfortable coming out and being open and being willing to answer those questions on statistics.
And I can't imagine what it's like to be a kid in elementary school or middle school and knowing that you're gay or lesbian or trans and not being comfortable enough to come out. I remember when I was in elementary school, I never knew what gay was, but I knew from an early age that I was different. And that's the way that I had defined it. And, you know, I did everything that all normal kids do in school and played sports and joined clubs and run for student government. And that never stopped me. But it makes me think now, thinking back to what's going on now is if that's going to be an issue, it's like, oh, you know, if you're trans or gay or lesbian, you can't run for student government. You can't play sports. You can't do things that normal kids do.
You know, the one thing, when you make that observation, I thought to myself, the one thing that makes your experience even sadder, or your experience even sadder, is in this last academic school year, getting ready to start again, this will be the second full school year of the implementation of the DeSantis plan for Don't Say Gay. So this bullying, the Trevor Project, the Matthew Shepard syndrome that goes on in schools in different ways, the kind of thing that you face, I imagine that the only thing that makes it worse is to not have any safe spaces to even talk about what you're experiencing. Because that's essentially, for all intents and purposes, what we've created in our schools. Don't talk about it, which means that the situation like you described, or you described, gets even worse because I can't talk about what I'm experiencing with anyone. And there's no safe spaces to do it in schools or classrooms or with teachers or with even other students. And as a result, that leads to dangerous things. We're on a dangerous path. And that's the consequence of Don't Say Gay. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.